Welcome. It's Friday yet again. It's your boy DOC with my co-host Mr. Conspiracy, Pooh Bear, aka Christopher Robbins. This is the Midwest Anime Show. Man, I hope everybody's enjoying their Friday. We got some great topics to get to. Today we're trying something a little new, maybe, and we're gonna take it from here. We got a new segment for you. Story time with Pooh Bear. Pooh Bear, go ahead and take it over for us. Tell us the story.
Oh yes, story time with Pooh Bear, where I tell you what's hot and what's not for the week, and I'm going to get it from my magical book, Frozen. It holds all our magical stories right here, Frozen. Just bear with me, people.
well,
Okay,
you
today's story time, what Pooh Bear likes, and I recommend everybody watches, is Gurren Lagann. Yes, Gurren Lagann. Let's get into it, shall we? Gurren Lagann takes place in a future where the Spiral King twirlies. His name is Lord Genome. What a name. He rules Earth and forces mankind to live in isolated subterranean villages. For those who don't know what that means, underground, which have no contact with the surface world or other villages. Surface means up. All right, above the ground, for those who didn't know. And are under constant threat from earthquakes, shaking. Selected villagers called diggers, people with shovels, are conscripted. Now, I know I don't have a lot of people that know what that means. That means forced into service or drafted. My older military people know what that means. Against their will. We don't like that. To expand their homes deeper underground, we meet our titular hero, or the what they call the MC, the main character. His name is Simone. That's French for Simon, by the way. He's a meek young digger living in Gaia Village who was ostracized, disliked. Those are for my geek and nerdy people. You know what I mean. Yeah, disliked and excluded in high school, but now we're winning for all those who want to know. So he's disliked by his peers. He finds solace in his best friend, Kamina. He's the man, if y'all want to know. He's the real hero. Keep that name in mind, Kamina. An eccentric delinquent, bad guy. Well, let's not say bad guy. He's a cool guy. Delinquent means cool. Who is like an
anti-hero.
anti-hero. Yes, I love Doc. That's a good word.
Anti.
So he's more like an older brother figure to him. Kamina encourages Simone, French, to join his gang. Team Gurren. Oh, I love it. To help him achieve his dream of visiting the surface world. One day, Simone unearths a drill-shaped key. Twirly. Remember that. Called a core drill, followed by a small mecha robot resembling a face called a gunman. Now, just imagine my face with just legs and arms on the side. That's just the little itty bitty robot. So that's about as far as I'm going to go on the reading part, explaining that. You'll have to watch the show to go on a big journey above the surface. They also meet girls who have extra flesh. If you know, you know. And they go around beating up these things called beastmen who have spiral powers. Twirl.
Ooh.
And they get these big mecha robots. We all love robots. Yes. But see, the thing with Gurren Lagann, they're like, anybody remember Combiner Transformers that link up and make a bigger robot? The robots get bigger and stronger. It's a lot of violence, a lot of shooting, a lot of comedy, and some sad times. You'll have to watch to get those very sad times. And they
So
also go it expands to space,
So Pooh
not just the
Bear,
surface.
so
Space.
Pooh Bear, is Goran Lagan on your hot or not list then?
I stated that earlier. If you were paying attention, Doc, that was
Oh
my hot,
my.
hot, very hot. We like it. Must read, good read and watch. Yes, Gurren Lagann. What I don't like this week, my magical frozen book, is Don't Toy With Me, Miss Nagatoro. Love is War. And yes, that is the title. We're already starting off wrong. Dumpster fire. Now, Naito Hachiwini, that's probably not how you say his name, but that's about as close as we're going to get, ladies and gentlemen. He's an introverted second year student at Kazahaya High School. He prefers to avoid social interactions and draws manga in his spare time. Not too bad so far. However, first year girl Hayase Nagatoro, remember the name in the title, inadvertently discovers his manga and calls her senpai. Does anybody know what actually senpai means? Like older brother. We'll get back to that. Anyway, and teases him to the point of crying. Oh my god. You're a boy in high school and you're getting teased by a girl and you're crying? Trash. Let's continue. She starts frequenting the art club, because he's a part of it, because he draws, remember, where he hangs out and continues to bully him. Oh my god, bullying. Ugh. From his timid personality and otaku interests. Sometimes wait a minute, in a sexually suggestive fashion. Ew. Initially, Senpai does not like Nagatoro at all and desperately tries to stay as far away from her antics and the possibility of bullying. And she continues to push him to become more assertive. He slowly realizes he's falling in love with her. Oh no. And gradually comes out of his shell and involves himself in her life.
So you
This
saying
is
he's a simp?
He is a simp. Yes, he did not take the pill. He is a simp. She is a bully and aggressor little girl who was probably overdriving her ovaries, sexually abound, overdriving. Just it disgusts me. Despicable. I don't like it. Trash. Don't
Pooh
try.
Bear, senpai means upperclassman who mentors an underclassman.
Even worse. Even worse. So now she doesn't have any respect for her upper peer. She's trash. I don't like it. Bullying. He just minds his own business. He just wants to draw his little art, probably with girls with extra flesh. I mean, what's wrong with that? And here she is, bullying him, calling him names, probably doing sexual advances that he don't want. You know, that's close to that R word I don't like. The situation. Yeah, that's what we called it. Try to put him in a situation. Trash. Don't like
So
it. Pooh Bear has spoken.
Pooh Bear,
Frozen.
Pooh Bear, thank you for saving us from seeing this garbage that you're talking about, because it sounds pretty terrible. Gurren Lagann sounds phenomenal and it's a
Check
great
it out,
anime,
please.
but that other thing sounds really horrible. So Pooh Bear is taking bullets for y'all. Okay,
Oh
he
yeah.
is saving y'all from garbage. Like, ain't not that many people care. This man cares about y'all. So story time with Pooh Bear is gonna be a new segment going forward with the Midwest Anime Show.
Hope you guys
So,
liked it.
so with that being said, we are getting into the roundtable discussion today. Now, this is probably one of my favorite anime. I and the only reason why I can say that is one of my favorite is because like a lot of the isekai stuff that happens, like I think it's overplayed at this point in time, but Overlord was in that few categories where it was still cool to get isekai. Now everybody get isekai, but when he got isekai, it was like I'm just trying to figure out what's going on. I don't really understand why I'm here, and I'm trying to find and see if there are other people like me inside of here. And so him going through his adventures, it's very interesting. So I'm gonna definitely get some more into this. So I gotta jump to Mr. Conspiracy. First question out the gate. What about Overlord do you like the most? What was it about the show that you enjoyed the most?
Oh man, Overlord, my man, Ainz Ooal Gown. So for me, the storytelling was actually really good because of the setting of Overlord. You know, you have your MMORPG gaming where someone is trapped in a video game, like the actual virtual game. So you got that easy trope right there. But and they did it differently. Um, Spoilers, if you really haven't seen it, we're probably going to do a little bit of spoiler here. I like the fact that he really believes that he's trapped as a real person part of the game, and they really don't give away the secret. I don't know if Pooh Bear wants to give that away or if you do DLC, but I like the secret that they keep the entire time that he believes
Go
that he's
ahead and
trapped in
reveal
the
it.
game.
Go ahead and
Okay.
reveal it. Yeah, go
Um.
ahead and reveal. Hey, look, if you on our show, you should know. We
Yeah.
gonna spoiler alert the
Uh,
crap out of your stuff. So
that he's literally actually his character. Like if I remember correctly, he's actually an NPC. He's not the actual person. He's just the actual avatar himself, if I remember correctly. And that he's not the actual real person that he thinks he is. He wasn't actually trapped in the game. He is the avatar itself. Um, and because of that, he actually loses whatever humanity he actually thought he has left because he realizes that he's not human at all. Um, from a mind perspective or a physical perspective, and so the storytelling that they do is phenomenal. Some people may not like the art, but I think that they do a good job mixing old and new art when it
Now,
comes to the yeah.
conspiracy, was that really actually confirmed? Because I seen a lot of mixed reviews on that, uh, whether that's really him or not. Yeah, because I heard that, but then I read that, um, like they're actually the characters are actually coming to their world, but they're coming in like
200 to like 100 year,
yeah,
like they're
different
showing up,
facts.
but it's not actually them being stuck in the world though. It's their avatars that are showing up.
Because
So
oh, so that did come out as it was a computer program glitch. Is
yes,
what I
from what I
read.
read, yeah, from
Yeah.
what I read, that's what it was. Now there could be something out there floating out there saying that it's total opposite, but from what I have researched, that's
Okay.
what was happening. And so
Yeah.
that's why he never found anybody, is because they're showing up individually 100 to 200 years later,
Yeah.
like their avatars. So they're
Sorry.
totally separated. So by the
Yeah.
time he got there, everyone else is supposedly dead at that point. They've all been dead at that point. Um, but so from the art, I like the old school and the new school art that they have. But to me, it is the building block of the characters that I like. Because of the Floor Guardians, I am trying not to butcher the actual name of the place. It's
Nazareth.
Nazareth. That's what it is. Thank you, Pooh Bear. My man PB. Um, I like his basically his own city, Nazareth, and when you go into his actual city, they have different floor bosses, different guardians, and I like how they develop his basal world that he lives in. I like that aspect because some of them are actually, as far as pure strength, can be stronger than him, but he is such a tactician that it's nearly impossible for just someone who's just pure strength to truly defeat him when he has enough time to actually make a strategy. So
are you
for
saying he's
me,
Batman? Are you saying he's
I
Batman?
am saying he is the Batman of his universe. Yes, sir, with a little bit of ability. Yes,
Okay.
yes, that's
Okay.
exactly what I'm saying. 100%. Yes.
Okay. Okay.
Um, so for me, I think it's a phenomenal read and a phenomenal show to actually look at. if you just only want to watch the anime. And he's a necromancer and a technically a magician or a sorcerer, if you want to call him that. And for me, that being your actual main character in itself, without him truly being a hand to hand combat person, I actually like that type because you have to really develop them for the show to be good. If that's your main MC. So DLC, that is my take on that one.
Okay. Well, Pooh Bear, I got my question for you is who is your favorite character throughout the series?
Oh, it's Ainz Ooal Gown for sure.
Okay,
He's
okay.
such a complex character. It's crazy, like his character. Usually, I don't like the main character. You like the main characters, but they're not always my favorite because they're the main characters, plot armor. I like more like characters with deeper development and stuff. But no, this one, I think that's why I like it so much is because I love the main character in this one. He's so complex because like conspiracy was saying like he comes whether it's him, whether it's him or just the avatar itself. But it takes, let's just say if it is avatar, it truly takes on his character, his personality. Like you couldn't really tell the difference. Like he's thinking he's in this world. Every time he gets emotional, the system corrects him. It calms him back down because he's a lich. He's an undead. They're not supposed to have emotions, right? But he still has and it's crazy. You'll see over the seasons how he goes from. You'll hear a lot of his monologue of his like I guess of his true self, and he slowly you start hearing less of that monologue and more of the lich voice and his consciousness, and it's crazy. Like he's slowly devolving into like he really doesn't have any emotions. Like, and it's not like he's I don't want to say evil. Oh yeah, you want to say evil, but like he really cares about his underlings, right? And you see that through the show. He cares about his people, and it's not like they just are evil, care about. No, they're a family for the most part. And they have a system. He cares about them, and they love and adore him, even though they're programmed to do that. But they're more, I guess, more alive now at this point. And I mean they're programmed to be that way. But he and that's the crazy thing. He teaches them, hey, I just don't want you to follow the program. That's just how we programmed you. I want you to think for yourself to make Nazareth even a better place. If you have your own conscience, think for yourself. Think outside the box. Figure things out. I don't need to tell you everything all the time. And you start slowly seeing that even in those characters. And I really love Overlord because of that. It's a lot of just not him, like the side characters, the MP. It's a lot of character growth. But yeah, there's a lot of murder, death, kill in there too, boy. They don't like the characters of the world. Don't get attached to them, boy, because anybody can get murked at any time.
Man, I'm gonna have to tell you, dude. Like wasn't one of my favorite characters until I saw what was going on, and I was like, "Ooh, something about some crazy chick is always up my alley." Princess Rainer.
Oh yes,
Holy,
man.
woo, boy!
The
I
puppet
did,
master. I call her the
yeah,
puppet master.
dude. I did not, cause see, Overlord is one of the few anime I never read the manga to. Okay, it's one of
Yeah,
the few.
yeah.
And so I didn't have any idea that chick was bat crap crazy, like Batman level crazy, pulling the strings behind. And you saw glimpses of the crazy from the time to time. Because I mean, I knew something was wrong with her. I mean, I knew that part. But man, the orchestrate the downfall of your whole kingdom. Also, you can have your boo thing with you that you plan to sacrifice everything for so he could die and you could bring him back to life, and you got him sown loyalty because she's like, I gave everything to keep you alive, and now it's like he's attached to her. It's like that dude, he was already in love with her, but he had no idea like what this chick was, and this dude gonna be running around with her for the rest of his
Oh
natural
no,
life.
wait, hey, at the end, he knew he. If you saw it at the end, right, and
Yeah,
that
I mean, he saw
he
it.
knew she was crazy, but
Yeah,
he had
it,
went too far down the rabbit hole with
it's too
her that he
late.
was just like, there's nothing because he already lost everything. Everything was lost. He knew
Yeah.
everything. He was just like, all I have is her now. Her
The,
man.
yo, that chick was so, and when you find out it's her, and you like, you
Oh,
sold your whole kingdom, your father, like you got all these people, your brother got all them people killed. And it
everybody
was
murdered.
all because you like, I'm so in love with him, I want to keep him permanent. You know what she like? She's the architect character for um Afruta, World's Strongest, that one chick
Yeah,
who
yeah.
was in love with the hero, that crazy chick. That's like this was before that.
Oh
And you know
man,
what I'm saying? And this chick is crazy like that. She crazier than that chick was. I was like, man, this don't make no sense.
bro, that's kind of like
Like
what narcissism times 1,000.
yeah, man, like, cause you don't see, like, you know something's wrong with her, but then, like,
Right,
when you find out, like, oh my God, it's even worse than you originally thought it was. It's like she crazy, she sacrificed everything, whole kingdom, and she's like, hey, Ainz Ooal Gown, I'm all about your life, bruh. Let me have this dude. I'll give you whatever you want. Like, it
bro.
was like, what?
Bro, but you know what's crazy? They've been hitting at it since season 1.
Yeah, they have been.
Because
And
they went back and you was like, dude, oh man,
dude,
yeah, dude,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah, that was like, and that's when you can keep me guessing, and I don't really know what's going on. You have a great character. I mean, I knew she was nuts, but you just don't find out the crazy until the end, and you're like, "Ooh, wow, this is worse than we thought." So, one of my favorite characters, but I do have to ask conspiracy, man. What is your favorite fight scenes, man? You because there's so many. I know there's a lot. I
It's a
know I'm
lot.
asking a tall tale. I know there's a lot, but you know I
Uh,
gotta ask as the host. I gotta do my job. Ask the tough question there. What's your
so
favorite fight scene?
it's gonna be crazy because it's early in the show. Cause
Mm-hmm.
right, so because they got several seasons now, people don't know. But for me, it just holds a place in my heart because there's two. One is really like a favorite, you know, moment. Another one's really like my favorite fight. So
taking a fight.
okay. So what's going to happen? No, I already know what yours is. I'm pretty sure I know. But I'm gonna go ahead and say this one because it was so early on and I really liked it. It really set the tone for him later with how ruthless he could truly be. And that's when he was Moon. So he became for the folks who don't know it, he had decided to go incognito and become part of the Heroes Guild, the Adventurers Guild, just to find out information about his old teammates to see if they were around anymore. So this was in the beginning. So he partners up with one of his maids. For the folks who don't know, very trained. Um, and so they end up going against, I think it was a Clarington or like a priest. I think it was a high priest. And the high priest is partnered up with this crazy assassin
Ah
called
man,
Clementine. Oh, hey,
ah.
hey, when they she is super speedy. She loves getting close. She's a psychopath, man, and he basically tries to fight her with some swords, and he's just getting basically beaten up, getting sliced up, and so he's like, okay, you know what? I can't waste no more time with you. It's time to get serious because she thinking that she's just that hard. She's about to kill him and win it because she's slashing him up. He wearing all this armor, so she don't know what he is. So she gets in close, stabs him right in the eye socket. Bam. And so she was like, oh, you dead? All of a sudden, she just feels click, and he grabs a hold on her. She's like, let me go, let me go. He's like, oh no. Let me show you what you really dealing with. She's like, why ain't you dead? I stabbed you in the eyeballs. Why ain't you dead? All of a sudden, he showed his true self. How you gonna stab somebody eyeballs and they got no eyeballs? I'm a skeleton. You know what I'm saying? And she, let me go. No. He was like, oh, it's okay. You know what? I like this even better. Let me go ahead and show you how much I care. He starts squeezing her even more, and he just what made it so great was how slowly he tortured her and killed her. Like you saw all of the graphic and just the gore of her bleeding out of her eyes, her teeth breaking and like breaking apart out of her mouth, and she's just screaming while her body and bones is breaking. Like her legs finally go back behind her, touching her back. It's just, I love it. It was amazing just because of that.
Mr. Conspiracy. You know what that moment reminded me of? I ain't gonna lie to you.
What?
It reminded me of Invincible when Omni Man grabbed the red Flash dude and he hitting him and he trying his best and his hands is breaking and the dude screaming and he just squeezing and squeezing until it started. Like that's what like I feel like they ripped that off from Overlord a little bit. You know what
Yeah,
I'm
I can
saying?
see that. I can see that.
Cause he just like obliterated her that chick. Okay, yeah, now that is a hot fight scene. Pooh Bear, I gotta ask the question. It seemed like conspiracy stole your fight, so I
Well,
mean,
I'm gonna use it more of a. It was a moment. Yeah, I love the fight. He explained it well, but it was a moment in it though. Yeah, if you don't pay attention, you'll miss it. Because remember, because he had partnered up with these adventurers, and there was a girl in there, and they got all buddy. But he told Clementine, he's like, "Are you mad because I killed him?" And what did he say at first? He said, "No, you just took something from me that I was going to use. Like they
Yeah.
were useful to me." But then what did he say after that? He's God, what's the
Well,
word? It's another symbol for like a liar. Jesus, what did he say? Anyway, he basically alluded that he lied.
yeah.
He said no.
Manipulator or something.
Yeah, he said no, he said basically he did lie. He said no. He got revenge like that. Like he still had enough in him that he cared enough about them. Like just what I'm saying, you just take to me. That's why he killed her slowly. It wasn't because he just
Yeah.
took assets. No, he got revenge.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and damn, what was the word he used? It was
They
real
can watch
subtle.
it and find out. They can
Yeah,
watch it
but,
and
but if
find
you
out.
catch it, like it, but again, that's why it's a great show. You got to listen
Yep.
to what they say. The words
Okay.
really matter in this show, and they say things, and you'll miss it. But no, he was pissed. He was mad because they didn't deserve that. He got revenge for them, but he made it seem like no, they were just useful assets. You know what I'm saying? That was a great moment for me. And then he slowly, took a life wing. I was like, oh my God, like you felt that, bro. You
Yeah.
felt
Oh
that. And
yeah.
I was like, yes, because she was cocky as all hell. And she deserved every last bit of that.
Because it turned
Oh,
from cockiness to pain to fear. You know what
bro,
I'm saying?
yes.
To
You saw
regret.
it.
It was
Yeah.
like you saw all those different emotions one after
Like
he
the
t-
other.
like when
he
your
he
life flashes, like that, it showed it right then and there, bro. It was so deep. Now, I will go back though. I forgot a character I did like, Chase. He's up there for me.
Whoa, whoa, hold
Ainz
on, man.
Ooal.
What you say?
Oh, thank Doc. Yeah. I got excited. Uh Sebas.
oh yeah, Sebas. Oh
And the
yeah.
reason
So
why I
which
like Sebas,
okay.
he's the butler.
Yeah.
So he's the
Sebastian. You
head.
talking about Sebastian, man.
No, it's
No, it's
Sebas. It's not
Sebas.
Sebastian.
Sebas.
It's
Yeah,
Sebas.
They
Sebas.
call him in the anime. That's
Yes.
what they call him.
And
They
no,
might
it's
call him
Sebas.
that. That
Yeah.
you know
No,
how
they
they
call
have
him
different names.
Sebas.
His name is
Too.
Sebas though.
I've watched
Okay.
it
Sebas
a
or
bunch of
whatever.
times.
Yeah, his name is Sebas.
Sebas.
Yeah.
Yeah, they say Sebas. But he's the head butler. He's over the battle maids. I like him so much. Like he's powerful, but he's like I don't know. There's just something about distinguished, but you can tell like he's powerful, just the way he stands. But he's like a gentleman at the same time. Like his swag is off the chain. So his fight with the what was those people, the bad guys, when he went to go save his
Oh, the
girl?
hand or whatever. What
Who
are they
was it?
called? The fingers or the five
Finger?
fingers?
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
Yeah,
fingers or
yeah,
whatever.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
And those five people, they was acting like they was hard. I am kind of mad that they didn't let like showcase their powers at all. But when that dude said he was like the king of the dead, he said, "Oh, boop boop boop." He's like popped all the heads like balloons, and then that dude was like, "Wait, no!"
Yeah, I don't want to be a victim. He didn't want to be
It's
victimized.
not much of a fight, but it was hilarious to me. He said only one person has that name, and it ain't you. Oh
Yo.
yeah,
So if I got to jump into the fight world, man, I got to go with Shalltear being controlled versus Ainz Ooal Gown. You know
That's
what I'm
what I thought
saying?
PB was gonna pick. Was that?
You know what I'm
nah,
saying? Because
it was great.
I'm gonna tell you why that fight was interesting. Because he acknowledged that she's a bad matchup for him.
Yes.
Yeah,
He acknowledged that she's a
yeah.
bad matchup, and he had to be like Mr. Conspiracy said. He had to be Batman level when he knew he was gonna fight. He had to
Mm-hmm.
go get all his friends who were done guild masters with him. He had to go use all the tips and tricks to beat Shalltear. And I was like, that ought to tell you something. Like they working for. I understand their NPCs and everything, but the fact that she was so powerful that she was such a bad matchup for him that he had to go do all of that just to beat her, not only beat her, kill her to bring her back, and like you said, he didn't care about how much money it cost. He didn't care about the resources. He was like, look,
Love
I'm gonna get my people back. But that fight was off the charts
it was.
because Shalltear, like she had a counter move for everything, but because
Mm-hmm.
she was being controlled and he knew all the weaknesses, he knew everything, because if it wasn't for that, let's just be honest, he'd have died fighting her. You know what
Yeah.
I'm
He said
saying?
that.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
said that. Yeah.
And I think how many times do you see a main character who's so OP actually admit that the people who's under him are more powerful than he is and that he had to do special things. Like you don't ever see that like in a in
Never
an
seen it.
isekai anime, somebody who's attached to somebody, and I mean you expect them to be, powered up, but powered to the point where like you're more powerful than he is in this particular area. And I just thought that was so interesting because you just don't see that. I'm used to your main character being so OP nobody can see him. But I think that's what's believable to me. Yeah, he's OP, but the people under him ain't just OP. Like they're at his level. Some of them are at his level, if not higher, and they still work for him. And he still. I mean, like you said, it's great writing when you can take and say, okay, yeah, he's juiced, but the
Yep.
people under him are juiced too, and they could beat him if the right circumstances, and that would have been a circumstance if he'd have just walked in that fight not knowing, it'd have been game over. So I think that's what makes that fight stick out to me so much because unlike the other fights and things like that, like the fact that he admits I could lose this versus all the other people he fights, he's gonna win. It's just how bad the L they're gonna take is gonna come. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's why that fight is significant to me because like that gives you mindset of the writers. Like,
Yes.
yeah, he's OP, but he's not so OP he can't be killed.
Well, I think
You
they
know what I'm
keep
saying?
like he's a sorcerer, so they stick
Yeah.
to they. I like it, like you said, they stick to the class. He's a sorcerer, but he's still a weak against like holy magic. And the way
Mm-hmm.
she was, he. That's why he said she's a bad matchup for me because I have a lot. Her powers are my, off of my weaknesses. So like, if I can't, and that's why he had to think. He had to take out all that stuff to counter her abilities against him. He had to
Yep.
think
Yeah.
that through, and they showed that was so dope. No, you're right, Doc. You're right. That was so dope. He had to take his time. He was like, okay, she can't move. Let me get all powered up because he would have lost. And I like the way that they showed that.
Mm.
And y'all know what? She ain't even the powerful one in the darn thing.
Nope.
No.
He
No.
is.
Albeda's sister
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
the goat. Yeah, I hope they show her.
Now here's the question: isn't there one person who's like the White Knight? Like, isn't he
You know about
that
the
dude?
dragon?
Yeah,
Nah,
yeah.
he ain't stronger than that. Like
And the
he's up
sister,
there.
and the little sister, he
Nah,
ain't he ain't
he
stronger
couldn't
than
see
her.
her. He couldn't see
Okay.
her because he probably still couldn't see Albedo. He kind of said that he could like Albedo was holding her on and she wasn't even using all her juice.
Yeah.
Yeah. I,
And that's
I
my
think
favorite character.
Yeah. So let me get to this. So let me ask you this. What are your favorite moments? Now I know Pooh Bear alluded to one of his favorite moments, right? So I'm gonna go ahead and hit conspiracy right now. I know there's a lot.
So
that's
like
why
I
I
was
want
saying, so you have my favorite fight. So the Ainz fight versus Shalltear is actually my favorite moment to be
Okay.
honest with you, because you've already explained that DLC is they truly show what his specialty is, what he's an expert in, and why they follow him. It's because he's the true leader. You know, he's a true leader, and him being a strategist and his mindset is so amazing that even though they half of them are stronger than him, or like I would say like the top floor generals are actually stronger than him, they follow him, and it has to do more with the mind than it does anything else. And you truly see a glimpse of that in that fight, but you also get to see something else, which is, what makes Shao so special. But one thing that we didn't explain was why Shao is so special. And that's because of Ainz's friends. They all created their own NPC, special NPC. And Shao, I believe, is the NPC created by the strongest of Ainz's group, if I remember correctly. Isn't that right, PB?
Um,
I thought she created Shao.
they're all like at the same level as far as power goes. The person creating their so it's not like as far as power, it's more like personality is what sets them apart. They
I
all
thought like from like a physical standpoint, or like I think like
nah
pure power. I thought she was the
nah
she
they
was the
they were all
strongest of
like
the
they
group.
were all on the same level as power again, but it comes into play like he might be weaker against maybe this person this matchup here, but they were all uniformly almost as far as the levels go.
Okay,
So I don't want to say like
because in
because
the anime they were making it seem like there were different tiers when it came to within the
no
group.
yeah
Um,
well I
of how
think
he was talking in the beginning, like when he
really.
first showed
Well,
up. Yeah, like when he first
that
showed
would
up into the
explain
world.
their power gaps though
Yeah.
against the
Um.
NPCs. Then that
And
would make sense. Like, is that
yeah.
then it's like, well, why is she out there the strongest? Why do they make her? What I'm saying that way when only that one person created. Then that actually makes sense. Then yeah, I can agree with that. Yeah.
And so that goes into the actual storytelling. But that moment, it has like so many small moments in that fight for me. And that's why, like, that's my whole favorite moment because of so many things that actually happened and are
Yeah.
explained within that fight. So,
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm
There
gonna
was
give
a.
you my.
I'll
Oh,
go ahead.
go ahead, Pooh Bear. Go
Uh,
ahead. You
that,
you
that,
you start before.
it's so many great moments in this show. Like one of my other ones when she called the whole Goblin Army. What's her name? When that village got
oh
hit,
yeah,
and
yeah, the
she
village
blew,
girl, yeah,
yeah, she blew the second horn, and she called a whole Goblin Army. That was so. But it was a certain season when the adventurers were going out to go plunder the tomb.
Oh, Nazarick, when they go say
Yeah,
come to Nazarick. Oh yeah, that's that was a
yeah,
bad.
that's a
That
good
was some
one.
yeah,
bad stuff. Some bad stuff
man.
happened to them folk.
Man, it's the way they did all of them, bro. Like that one dude got caught with that cross dressing green thingy.
Oh yeah,
Oh, he caught himself in the situation and he pulled out that little thing too, so I'm sticking in your little hole. Like, oh Jesus. And then the mother groups got ate up by the roaches. He said, you gonna feed my family? Oh, yeah. And then oh man, that was messed up. And they did that little girl at the end with that one the main group.
She
And he
tried to
right there.
run.
oh
Are you
yeah,
talking about the
Yeah,
one
he
at
yeah.
the
said
end who
yeah,
tried to
he said
run?
shout
And
here, yeah. And he had the little sisters. I was like, that kind of hurt my heart. Like it's like, man, they don't pull no punches, bro. But again, you be
no,
like, oh, that's evil. It's like, no. Again, they broke into his home.
Yes,
You know what I'm saying? They violated that man's home with his people, and yeah, that upset him. He gave him a chance though. Remember,
yeah, yeah,
he,
yeah. He did.
he asked the question before they started. Why are y'all here? Would he do this? And all they said was, why else? To get rich.
nah,
And then he was like, oh, okay. They was like, you have a problem with that? He was like, nah, y'all. Nope, you gave me the answer. You answered truthfully. That's all I wanted to know.
for the love
Yeah,
of
I
money,
remember that.
baby. For the
But
Yep.
love of money.
but again, you would have missed it. He gave him a chance.
Dude, he hey, look, I'm gonna tell you right now, one of my favorite moments in the show is
Oh,
where it's when Gazef goes to the king and he's like, don't do this.
Oh,
Please
yeah, I remember
don't
that. Yeah.
do this. He
Yes.
was when
Don't.
God, and if you don't know who Gazif is, he's like the warrior. He's like the greatest warrior for their king, for Iran Tel, the kingdom of Iran Tel. He is the greatest warrior. And Ainz Ooal Gown had saved his life in season one. He saved his
Yeah.
life. Okay. And he saw what Ainz Ooal Gown could do. And he was like, yo, hey, we would be friends under different circumstances. Man, but when Gaza finds out they going against Ainz Ooal Gown, he go to the king. Don't do this. Please don't do this. And
Yeah.
all the hardliners around the king, and they like, you gonna bow down to this lynch,
Yeah,
and then
laughing.
Gaza like,
Yeah.
we gonna die if we do this. Like he's trying to tell you, like we're gonna die. Like it almost reminds me who saw Skull Island the movie. Which one of y'all saw Skull Island the movie? It's like Kong Skull
Yeah,
Island.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
And
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
sorry, and it's a scene when John C. Riley, the dude from Talladega Nights, he was like, "We're gonna die. We're all gonna
Oh,
die."
yeah.
He's like, yeah. You know what I'm saying? That's what guys were trying to tell him. He's like, dude, and I know, like, you got to be thinking to yourself, we're gonna die, and I'm supposed to go stop this dude. You like, you the king's web better. He's like, don't do this. Like, I can't beat him. Nobody can beat him. And it's like,
Mm-mm.
no, no. And they won't, again, what you say, Pooh Bear. Gazif is trying to save their lives. He is trying to save their lives. And then, no. There's no way. There's no way. Man, when they get to that battlefield and like, first of all, the other kingdom who decided to come on with them probably the smartest decision they could have
Yeah,
made. And then they
boy.
basically pissing in their pants when them big old things, I don't even know
Skeleton
what you call
Warriors.
them monsters.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
them big
Night.
old
Yeah.
monsters show up and like instant death, like 1,000 knights in a moment. Didn't even touch him. And he was like, I can send these to kill everybody. Or, we can do this. And Gazelle comes out. He's like, I don't want. And Ainz will go. This is the crazy part. This is how much respect he got for Gazelle. I don't want to kill you. Come work for me. I don't want to put you down. We don't have to fight. Your king, come work for me. He ain't come work for me. And I'm thinking, guys, just walk over. I
Yeah,
Yeah,
go
bro.
yeah.
go
I
Just
work
go
won't
for
even.
over
I
there.
won't even. If
yeah,
you come with me, I won't even kill everybody.
yeah. He gave my option. That's the cold part about it, Pooh Bear. He gave him the option to
He
walk
gives
over.
everybody
Right.
options.
Yeah, like you don't have to do this. And he was like, but I respect you enough. If you
Yep.
decide to do this, I will battle you. And he doesn't even make the fight, like he kills him instantly. Like it ain't even, I'm
Yeah.
not gonna make you suffer. He
No,
just puts
yeah.
him down. And then the other cold part about it is you got Brain and Climb. Shouts out to bad anime name conventions, because y'all gotta do better. All
Yeah.
right, y'all gotta do better.
No,
But
I think it
Brain,
was intentional.
yeah, I look, Brain and Climb sitting there like, we could help you guys. The guys know he gonna die. He like, nah, y'all, don't get involved with this. He know he gonna die.
He said.
He
He
like,
said, "Don't matter, Kings. Don't listen to them. It's just me.
yeah,
They stupid."
yeah, yeah, they stupid. Just pay attention to me. And they gonna, he said, I will go, like I said, as powerful as he respect Gaza. He's like, okay,
Mhm.
that's what you want. But the even colder part about it, after he kill him, he puts a curse on them so they can't bring
Yeah.
him back. I was
Bro,
like, God, dog.
bro,
And them
bro.
other two had to watch, and they didn't even see what happened. They just know the dude died, and they like, Azuka, like you ain't beating this dude. Like guys have like sacrificed themselves to save the rest of y'all, but like I'm like, dude, it wasn't even worth yo. Like you should have walked over there with Carm and Brain, be like, we're gonna go work for him. He's more honorable than our king is with these corrupt people. He's more honorable, but
Okay,
nope,
okay. I didn't understand that part. I didn't.
Yeah.
dude,
And
dude,
the
that's
crazy part is, he still gave the king. So they went over there. He still gave the kingdom a chance. He
yep.
still gave them a chance. And what they do, they still
Nah,
froze. Murder, death,
man.
kill time. I'm
Yeah.
telling y'all have to. Everybody like it's really like, man. Nobody's good and evil. That's the good thing about Overlord. Nobody's good and evil in the show.
Yeah.
It all
Oh,
comes down to choices and consequences. I'm telling
yeah,
you, like it's
yeah,
it's crazy,
yeah.
man.
That's why.
Listen,
That's what I'm saying, man. Like the writing on the show, I mean, is so off the charts, man. So that's why I said like Overlord, like, listen, round table, look, we like to talk about what's hot, what's not, story time with Pooh Bear, but I'm gonna tell you this now. There aren't too many isekai anime like Overlord that are that good. Written so well with the amount of characters that have and the character development over the five. Now, I didn't necessarily care for a couple of one or two of the seasons. It was a little slow for me. I didn't necessarily care for it, but the overall story, because you have to involve the politics of kingdoms. It ain't just the
Mhm.
fighting, it's the politics, it's the
Yes.
manipulation going on behind the scenes and everything. Even when, he means to do good for some of these people, they still step in and still try to do it. Like remember that dude who was sucking up to Albedo from that one kingdom,
Yes.
and
Yes.
and that's a prime example. Like, yo, I'm trying to like. I'm not gonna kill you, but I look at the dirty politics you doing, regardless of the situation. And so,
Mhm.
like you said, there's no like in the beginning you think you know who's good and who's bad, but as the show progresses, it's like Ainz Ooal Gown, the character he goes from, you know, humanity versus, you know what, these people are trash. And
It's
you know what?
perspective.
I need to be a ruler over my people and don't worry about the like
That's
you
it.
you start to figure out early on like these people aren't worth my time. They need to be ruled, not like be helpful to them at no level. The ones that are helpful, I'll take care of them. But most of these people are corrupt, and I know what they're
Yeah.
about. And I mean, like I said, great anime, man. I don't want to take up too much time because I know we got to get ready for fisticuffs. So
And now, this world shall know pain.
It's time for Anime Fisticuffs! DLC, who do we have lined up for today?
woo, as my man Ric Flair would say, woo.
Woo.
Today's gonna be an interesting fight, and since we are on the subject of Overlord, I thought it would be awesome to go ahead and bring our man or my undead Ainz Ooal Gown into the fisticuffs today. And who he gonna be battling against is about to be even crazier because we got one dude who's an undead ruler, basically a god in his world, basically, versus Rimuru Tempest, the demon, well, the slime demon king slash god slash all this other stuff. But to make sure this contest is fair, we're not using Rimuru as a god. We'll keep him as a demon lord, but we're not using him as a god because at that point we have to get like stupid crazy on who he gets to fight at that point. So with that being said, I I'm gonna leave this to Pooh Bear on who's got who because either way it goes, it's gonna be an interesting fight either way it goes. So Pooh Bear, either you can flip a coin and you can decide who's got who. I don't really think it matters too much for me and Mr. Conspiracy as far as this fight goes on who he gets versus who I get. So we'll
Fine.
take it
Oh,
from there.
I got a point. I got
So
a
Yeah.
point. I'll
All
make it.
right, PB.
Okay. We're gonna do heads and tails. Okay. Doc.
mm-hmm.
Let me get it right. Okay. Heads, Overlord. Tails, Rimuru. You okay with that?
Okay. Yeah.
All right. All right, Doc. You got Rimuru. Conspiracy. You got Overlord.
What?
This is gonna be great. I was actually thinking the other way around, but this is gonna be good.
Oh, shoot. Oh, man.
Go have your work come
Okay.
out for you today. Go have your work cut out for you today,
Cause it
boy.
just
I,
chose,
Uh,
huh?
uh, well,
look,
it was going to go the same either or, you know what I'm saying?
it's
Because I'm pretty sure the argument that I would have made if I had Rima Root would have been the exact same. Because we basically explained it throughout the show in the round table, technically. Um, even with Rimuru just being at the Demon Lord level, we basically explain how this fight is gonna go. That there's only one problem, which is probably my character's greatest weakness. But I'm gonna go ahead and leave that for DLC.
Okay.
Yeah,
Hey, you got first. Hey, look, you know what I'm saying? Since you got that,
I
you know
got
what I'm
this.
saying?
I got this.
Yeah,
I got
yeah,
this. I got this.
you got round one goes to you, sir. So you got this first round is on you. So go ahead,
Okay.
bring.
I don't want to bring in all the guns, but I may have to go ahead and just bring in all the guns to just settle this. Period. Because there's not gonna be like too many rounds. I'm able to get in here, so we just gonna go all out. PB, you good with that?
Do
We
I
what you
gonna
don't
go
gotta
think you
all
got
do.
out.
no choice.
Do what
I
you
don't
gotta
think
do,
you got
Okay.
baby.
no choice in this kind of
Okay.
fight.
So my character is a strategist. He loves gathering information, so on and so forth. We ain't got time for that. They just met one-on-one battle, and we just gonna go ahead and just bring out all the bad boys right here, right now. First things first. I know that I'm facing a slime. The slime. I don't know how many hearts Rimuru has, but the first thing we're gonna do is time stop. Ainz Ooal Gown is one of the very few anime characters that actually is able to stop time for a longer period of time than others. So it's not just a tenth of a second, things like that. It's going to be a couple of seconds at least if we're not talking about high power Ainz Ooal Gown. Since we're not doing God Rimuru, we're not going to do like the ultimate Ainz Ooal Gown, right? So he still can actually stop it for several seconds, which is enough for him to actually do Grab's heart. What people don't know about Grass Heart is that how many hearts you actually have technically supposed to show up in Gon's hands, but he can use that move multiple times just to see how many hearts you do have, and those seconds gives him enough time to actually do that to destroy Rimru's hearts. Granted, this is a combo. Okay, I'm not saying that kills him. This is a combo. All
Okay.
right, we doing like Killer Instinct, baby. This is a combo.
Oh,
Okay, so
okay. Okay.
that's the first two hits. Boom. You know what I'm saying? And then we gonna hit them with the pillar of light because we are fighting the demon lord here, man. So we're gonna go ahead and hit him with the falling down. This is the actual move that he used to almost take out Shout's here. The only reason why it really didn't kill her was because she was a vampire, so she is basically an undead herself. So that's why it didn't kill her is because she was an undead. But Rimuru technically is not an undead yet, as just a regular demon lord. He's really not an undead yet. So falling down truly takes it to another level. Now, hear me out though, because this is still combo, baby. Okay, we going to ultra. We going to ultra. All right. Okay. So my time stop will probably have been taken down at this point. One thing that I didn't mention, I forget how long it takes for this spell to actually takes place, but it may take a whole episode since that's what happened in the anime. So I didn't want to use this because it may not really be helpful. And that is the goal of all life is death, which is that clock that's going in the background. So we're not going to use that because it's going to take 30 minutes for us.
Okay.
So we're going to use something better that have enough time thanks to fall down. We're going to use what they call Wish Upon a Star. It allows me to use experience points, shop items. It allows me to basically make 3 wishes, or I can combine those 3 wishes into one to make a very special wish. And you know what wish I would make? I would wish Rimuru back to Earth. Baby, I'm done. There we go.
Wow.
Ultra, ultra,
Wow.
ultra.
You missed out
Okay.
on something. Conspiracy combo breaker. Let's
My
let's
bad. There we go.
let's
Thank you. Thank
yeah.
you,
Let me
DLC. Thank you.
let
Wow.
me go ahead and end this fight real quick. You know what I'm saying? Just like you said, we ain't going that many rounds. So I'm gonna put my little Deadpool up, and when Deadpool drops, the fight's over. Okay, and I'm gonna tell you exactly why the fight's over. 2 reasons. The Sage, aka Raphael, who is analysis, right?
Yep.
First thing, first, all I gotta do for you, kind sir, put up an anti-magic barrier, and you're done. You know what I'm saying? You're done. Because here's the thing. Like I said, I put the anti-magic barrier up because you trying to slow down time and all that other stuff. I understand what you're gonna try to do. But if I take your magic out of the equation and I don't need magic to fight, you know what I'm saying, to fight you and beat you. You need magic to beat me though, but I don't need it to beat you. Because the other thing I can do is now this will probably cause you to turn into your Momon character to fight with swords and stuff, but I'm just gonna have a physical fight with you. I'm gonna take the magic out the equation because I don't think you got a shot without magic. I don't think you got a shot. So since you throwing that super ultra combo breaker down, all I'm gonna do is put the magic barrier up, and then I'm gonna go take my black flame on my sword, put it on my actual sword, and then I'm gonna slice and dice you up because I'm actually a trained swordsman because of who taught me. You, on the other hand, are not a trained swordsman. My fire, you're dead. You're gonna die. I'm gonna cut your bones up, and we're gonna call it a day. Now, let me go ahead and throw something else at the equation, you know what I'm saying? Because I do have great sage there. The other thing I can do that'll go ahead and get rid of you as well is degenerate, you know what I'm saying, which is a Shizu skill, which will allow me to break you down on a molecular level, you know what I'm saying? I can break things apart on a molecular level. So you pulling out all your experience points to get all your shop items. I'm gonna destroy all your shop items by with disintegrate as well. You know what I'm saying? That's gonna go ahead and push that down some more. Now, and the last little bit of stuff we gonna drop, okay? Other than my little magic barrier, if that didn't do you in, Mr. Lynch man, if that didn't do you, nah, that'll do you. You know what I'm saying? That'll do you. Cause I look, because in a fight, look, as when he's Momon, that's where his weakness is. In a magic fight, look, dude, you got all the advantage. No disrespect to Ainz Ooal Gown, but in a fight without magic, that's why Shao Terry was gonna give him all the blues in the world. Physical problems. And then I got basically Wikipedia in my head who can analyze anything you can do to figure out any possible counter. And no matter how much a tactician you are, you don't have limitless knowledge like I do.
So
That's
now we're
why
gonna have a discussion, DLC, because um now
I
we
dropped
nope
Deadpool.
nope now we gotta have a discussion is because one thing that is wrong when it comes to my greatest weakness is that I need time.
Yeah,
Okay,
anytime.
that is my greatest weakness. I actually need time, and that one-on-one, hand-to-hand battle, one-on-one pure strength is my greatest weakness. So if we're going heads up, like with Shelter, right? I have no chance in winning, especially if I don't know anything about my opponent whatsoever. I am dead, right? With that type of opponent. But the biggest problem is that I am fighting an individual who's not a killer. I am fighting an individual unless you're like beating up his family or his friends and whatnot. He doesn't truly take things serious. Even when Hinata was coming to kill him, and it was a well known fact, he still didn't. All he did was defend himself. That was it. Um, and he actually to me, his weakness is still that he still has humanity in him, right? He still has a lot of humanity left in him. So for me, he's not truly going to just automatically be bloodthirsty unless I have done something beforehand to the people he cared for. Hold on. And because of that, that's why I started my ultra combo attack with time stop because it doesn't take nothing but a fraction for me to use that spell. It doesn't take long for me to automatically use that spell, and that spell allows me to be the only one that moves in that time and space. Now, if you would have said, okay, we're going to just do this, I don't want to actually kill you just yet, and you use his ability, which allows him to put me in a dimensional prison, then this fight is done, said and done, right? If you would have just did that because of his personality and the way that Rimuru is. So if I'm really looking at this the way that I'm looking at it, I'm not sure. please, down in the comments, let me know what you think about this. Because of the personality trait of both of them, my time stop would give me the opportunity to at least do my combination before you actually killed me. Before you decided to actually kill me. Because even with the Great Sage, that does not mean that you're going to automatically go for the kill because we've seen it a ton of times.
I, you're 100% right, but you've activated my trap card. Thank you.
All right, so go ahead. Go ahead, man.
Predator. Predator. Because if I use Predator, doesn't matter. You're gone. Because I'm taking you to the dimensional space inside of me. You're done. That's the end of the
Ah,
story. That's the end of the
that's
story. You
not a
don't.
trump card in this
That,
scenario.
in
It's
this
not a trump card.
scenario, it is.
No.
It is because if you look at what I said, I've disabled your magic. Okay, I've disabled your magic. So how can you stop Predator? Now just answer me. How can you stop Predator if you can't use magic?
Okay, so here's the crazy part. So one of my resistances is actually specifically for people trying to drain and take away my magic. That is actually a high resistance that he has.
Okay,
And
so let.
so even now, hold on. Even if you try to use Predator, this is a move I have not used yet. Even though because I'm an undead, it's going to take you a little bit of time to go ahead and eat me because it's going to be like the time it took for him to eat the um that pig demon lord. I forgot what his name was.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. The Orc
Right.
Demon Lord. I got you.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, the Orc
So
Demon
that
Lord.
gives me time because I left out a few moves. That gives me time to actually use a few moves. One, the tribute to the god of dark fertility. That's probably my greatest spell.
Okay.
I don't have to use that. I would love to use the life is death, but that's probably going to by the time that kicks in, you would have ate me already. So we're not gonna do that. But I can use the lesser version of World Break, which is Reality Slash, and it
Okay.
does exactly what it says, which means that even though that you're using the actual trying to use Predator on me, I can use that Reality Slash and actually damage you. And one of the crazy things about Ainz Ooal Gown is that unless you are honestly, you would have to go all out with one of your magic attacks to truly damage him, cause him to be hurt because of his resistance and him being undead and because of his resistance skills.
So we also look. I didn't wanna
Come
do
on with
this.
it, baby. I didn't want to
I
go
didn't wanna.
past round one, but you
I
did it.
I didn't want to do this, but okay, we gotta go. We gotta go to the next bag. Ability creation. I can create ability spells that don't exist. Just like how you send me home, I said you don't exist anymore in my spell. You're dead. You're gone.
Let me say
You know what I'm
one
saying?
note, man. What?
I have an ability. You know what I'm saying? I can create abilities and spells that do not exist. That's that's fact. That don't exist in that world. So listen to me. Deadpool's gone now. You died. I just told you it's over with. You forced me to go ahead since you wanted to counteract Predator, and you forced me to use my other trap card. Goodbye, Ainz Ooal Gown. Okay, you don't exist anymore. Dead or not, you're gone. I erased your avatar from existence. What can you do about that?
DLC, you
What you gonna do now?
hold on now. Wait a minute. Okay, DLC. So for that skill, when he's a demon lord, it doesn't give him that amount of power. Not until Sage upgrades to a higher level does he get that amount of power when it comes to creating skills. So since he's a demon lord, you're not creating a skill that does that because Sage is not strong enough yet for you to do that. So
I feel like you just
automatically, that's a no.
you looking for something. You looking for some
I'm
help.
not. It's
You looking.
true.
I
It's
listen.
true.
Listen. I listen. Like I told you, you don't have a snowball's chance in a word I can't say on this show to beat me. Now, what I will grant you is you have a lot of knowledge and a lot of skills, Mr. Conspiracy, but you're not whooping me on this one. Now, every time you bring out your new trap card, I'm gonna bring my next trap card out. But me and you both know how this goes at the end of the day. We both know your pile of bones walking around is about to be sent back to Nowhereville, back to Nazareth as the bones you are. You know it, I know it. You are
DLC,
like
here's
you
the
are like
here's
the
the thing,
Dallas
brother.
Mavericks down 3-0 to the Boston
No,
Celtics, and you
here's the
just fighting to
difference.
be fighting. It's over.
Here's the difference. Here's the difference. Here's the difference, sir. Okay, the difference is this. And now you activated my final trap card. You
Okay,
activated my final trap
final
card.
trap
Okay,
card.
I
Final.
am going. Okay, I am going to come to you. I'm gonna let you know, sir. I can grant your greatest wish, and that's not to be here to go back to being, human, being where you was, and I'm going to touch you right here, and I'm
With
gonna send
love,
you
you
home.
you you
I'm gonna
gonna touch the
send you
love in
home.
my heart. You gonna touch
I'm
the
gonna
love in
send
my
you
heart.
home,
Oh,
and that's it. I just won this battle without any violence. You know, matter of fact, you know what? I was gonna say something. I refuse to because we on YouTube, so I'm not gonna say who I would make proud with that. But
this is fisticuffs, not lover cuffs.
okay.
Okay,
No,
this
no,
is
no, 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 no,
fisticuffs.
no, 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 no. I am a strategist. I just use strategy, baby. I am a strategist. I just sent you home. It's over. Put one in the chat for your boy, Mr. Conspiracy. That's me, because you know I won. It's
Hey, listen.
official. It's official.
If you want a participation trophy, put a one in the chat. Cause
Oh
that's
my
about
goodness.
all we got at this point is participation. Listen,
Really?
man, you keep going on and selling it.
PB.
You know what? You
PB.
know
All
what? I know what
right,
it is.
Midwest
Wait, wait.
anime fans. Yeah, if you love what Mr. Conspiracy brought to the battle and the pain, hit that one button. If you get down with Doc and how he brought the uppercut and the leg drop, hit that number 2. We're gonna leave this one to the people to vote the winner
I,
on.
Hey, look, y'all let us know what you thought about it. You know what I'm saying? Let us know who you want to see as far as this particular battle goes. But like all good things in life, the show must come to an end, kids. So I know how you guys want to see DOC and Mr. Conspiracy going back and forth all the time. But listen, man, you gotta give this brother a break, man. You can't just be wearing him out like this all the time, man. Internet be bad over there. Like right now, he looks far away. Now he's come
I'm
back in the
good.
photo.
I'm good, man. I'm good. You know what I'm saying? I don't know why you hate DLC, but go ahead and check out. We got a lot of new material out there called What If. So go ahead and check that out. Also, you can go ahead and listen to us on audio radio stations. If you want to go ahead and subscribe to our anime hyphen Midwest hyphen anime hyphen show.casters.com. We'll have the link on the YouTube website. Go ahead and click on that. And
Bam, baby.
And if you like the story time with Pooh Bear, let me know if you want me to do more of that.
Yep. Hey guys, thank you all, and we will see you next Friday. Peace.